Meanwhile, a 19-year-old man is fighting for his life in what hospital authorities say is as a result of the extent of damage caused to his organs after he was shot by a military man yesterday in Ejura. The unidentified man is one of 4 persons who sustained various degrees of injury after yesterday's bloody protest that left 2 dead. Angry youth of the town had been on the streets protesting the killing of activist and Fix the Country campaigner Ibrahim Mohammed. Medical Superintendent Dr. Mensa Manye tells my colleague Erasta Sasaridonko the hospital lacks the equipment to conduct the surgery needed on the victim.
I would like to get the medical superintendent himself, Dr. Mensa Manye, to speak to us about their condition at the moment. Good morning, Doc, and welcome to News Desk on JoyNews.
Fine morning.
Well, tell us, what is the status of those who were injured and on admission at the moment?
Generally, they are all stable. I think yesterday I had to even discharge 2 of them because of their stability. Or the degree of injury was not so much severe, so I discharged 2 of them. The other 2, theirs were serious. Yesterday, after the incident, I then went back to explore or to actually reassess the extent of injury. I realized the 90-year-old boy, the injury he had at the back of the waist, opening in front of the abdomen, was bleeding profusely, so I suspected an internal organ injury. So quickly, what I did was, that's why he was stable, talking to us, I deemed it necessary to refer to Kofanochi for further investigation and management. Not that it posed some threat of maybe, losing his life, but I deemed it necessary to explore. CT scan could be to be done there. We are limited. We could only do the X-ray, which we have done already. So I refer for further investigation and management. But I communicated that he's also very stable, responding to treatment.
So currently you have 1 person on admission and you intend to refer that one as well to Kofanochi Teaching Hospital. Is that correct?
Correct. That person had multiple fractures around the femur. So that's the right femur, that's the right thigh bone, which is very serious. Such a fracture requires an orthopedic surgeon to manage. We have limitation, or we have our threshold. Where it got to, I need to refer it to Kofanochi for further investigation and management. They will also do their necessary operation there. So that's where we are now. However, a quick one, I would also like to take this opportunity to thank you people for the nice interaction and your coverage. But I want to really re-emphasize and defute the allegation of money collection in the hospital. There was no one paid a peswa. Even as of the treatment we have given, the infusion, the injection, no one paid a peswa. There was no peswa collected by the hospital from the injured victims or from the relatives. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And Dr. Mensa Manye is the medical superintendent for the Ejura Government Hospital. Now, if you're seeing the small crowd here, they were brought in or accompanied by the chief of Ejura, who has just visited the people who are on admission at the moment. I do have his Nifahine here with us still. I will speak with him briefly on what the visit was about and the assurance of the chiefs of continued peace in Ejura. Good morning, sir. Your name, sir?
Good morning. I'm Nana Osei Kojo Ansebi, the Nifahine of Ejura.
We've seen the chief of Ejura here this morning. What's the purpose of the visit?
He came in to visit the injured, those who are hospitalized, and also interact with the hospital management on the way so far, and then also those who have been referred to Kumasi, how they are faring.
How does Nananum feel about what has been happening from 3 days ago coming to today?
Sad, very sad, and very unfortunate. because for people to spill their blood on the land is nothing so cheap. And Nanano, in particular, Burma Osevidie, it so happened that everything occurred whilst he was in town. And we are really sad and determined that whatever caused it will be unearthed and the appropriate action will be taken. And also pray that it doesn't happen again.
And Nananum interested in demanding justice, I mean, on the part of the military men, if any, on how they handled the situation?
Now, what has happened is an operation they conducted. What I know is that any operation or exercise of this nature, at the end of the day, they submit their report to the authorities that be. The military to the military, the police to the police. What I know is that in the report, if the authorities have any reason at all to believe that somebody went out of the professional instructions or somebody was unprofessional in his activities, the appropriate sanctions will be taken against him. Nanano and Burma has assured that he will follow up, whether it is the military, whether it is the police, whether it is whatever. But then we do not want to, as it were, create the impression that it's the military who have gone out on a shooting spree, killing people or destroying or attacking people. We want to disabuse the public's mind on it.
But how does Nananum feel about what happened? Do they think that there were excesses? They went beyond what you were expecting to happen on the streets?
Now we cannot pass judgment on as to whether they went excesses or not, because we were not with them in at the time of the incident. And like I said, the military normally will not go out of its way to start shooting. But I believe this is not the time to apportion blame. Whether they were right, whether they are wrong, the appropriate authorities will take action. I want to believe that the whole incident will be investigated. But for now, what we want, that we should have peace. Because if there's no calm, if there's no peace, people cannot go about their duties. And then the police even cannot do any investigations in the heat of the crisis.
So before you go, currently we are seeing relatively calm on the streets of Ejura. What is the role of Nananum at the moment in ensuring that it stays this way?
We're continuing with what Burma Ejura started with the elders. That is speaking with the appropriate people, the youth, the leadership, the chief imam, the Zongo chief, anybody at all who can help to restore peace. That is what we are doing. So we have a lot of interaction. For instance, I just met with the census team to encourage them to continue with their duties and that the situation is calm. The security agencies, they are in town, and nobody is confronting them, no riot with them, no confrontation with them. So we believe that the appeals that have been coming from our chief and then other opinion leaders, people will adhere to that one, and things will continue to be calm.
We are grateful for your time, Nana. And that's the Nifahene of Ejura. He followed the chief of Ejura to come and see the people who are on admission here at the hospital. He has also donated 5,000 Ghana cedis each to the people who are injured to take care of some of their medical expenses. And he promised to see those who are bereaved as well, to talk it over and find some sort of support for them as well. So on the streets of Ejura at the moment, we have the military, we have the police patrolling the streets with their men And I must say that it's relatively very calm on the streets with people going about their normal duties, Benis.
So that's Erastus Asari Donko. Now, family of another victim are also demanding justice. 25-year-old Abdul Nasir Yusuf was shot in the left shoulder and the chest. He's said to have had internal bleeding in the chest and then died before arriving at the hospital. His brother, Isahaku Abubakari, says the family wants the perpetrators brought to book. We can go live now to my colleague Erastus Asari Donko, who is at Ejura, for the very latest. To you can't shortly so we can understand exactly what is going on there. But if you're just joining in, President Akufo-Addo has issued an instruction to the Interior Minister asking him to undertake a public inquiry into the incidents of yesterday in Ejura. Well, several people have been talking about this, several people, including the Minister for Information. And today at the Public Accounts Committee, the Interior Minister himself and the IGP have been answering questions. Let's talk to Erastus right now as we go on with the other stories. Hello, Erastus.
Yeah, Gifty.
Erastus, we understand that there's relative calm in the town. But before we get to that, help us understand what we just saw in the video that you played for us, the women with the Quran.
Yes, so we started going on rounds with the MP for Ejura Dumase, Bawa Brahima. And on some of his visits, we visited the home of Kaka, the originally deceased person which called in this protest. Yeah. So if you see that in the video, that is the family of Kaka, the wife, the children, and some of his family members who are holding Quran. They met us at the gate and said they won't swear with their Qurans. And the person, brother, to the police who has been arrested by the police in connection with his death is innocent. They claim that there is a woman in the house who told the police that it was the brother who is called Idi, who has a hand in the death of the brother.
Well, Erastus, let's talk about the atmosphere in the community at the moment. Explain to us the relative calm that the town is experiencing now. Hello, Erastus, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Erastus, talk to us about the relative calm. We'll try and put the sound on the conversation you had with Mr. Kaka's family, but talk to us about the calm at the moment in the town.
I must say it's an uneasy calm. And if you see the undertones coming in from the family home, then you know that is an uneasy calm. People are going about their normal duties. It's even trying to rain right now here. It's a very cloudy, gloomy weather here with people going about their normal duties. But with that gloomy, atmosphere hanging over the town, you could see clearly that once vibrant Ejura, which is a commercial hub for many selling yam and other foodstuffs, today was not itself as people try to come to terms with what has been happening in the past 3 days. So on the streets, you will not see the youth doing that protest. Everybody's minding his own business, but then when you move into the homes and you start speaking with them, then they start telling you about their frustration, their anger with what has happened and the two people who have just been slain by the military.
We knew that 4 people were at the hospital. 2 of them, the doctor says he has discharged. 1 of them has been transferred to the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital. I don't know if we have an update on the person at the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital, but there should be 1 more person. Do we know anything about this person now?
Yes, they discharged 2. 2 were on admission. 1 was transferred yesterday to the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital. We understand he's responding to treatment. The other one who we witnessed still on admission here has also been transferred by ambulance this afternoon to the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital because the doctor said he needed some specialist examination to go on within the boy who has a fractured thigh. So that has been done. So currently we do not have any of the injured at the Ejura Government Hospital. They've all been transferred to Kumasi.
Right, Erastus, thank you very much. If there's anything else that we ought to share with our viewers, do update us on that. Otherwise, we'll leave you for now.
Well, so the update is that 1 person has been arrested this afternoon. It makes 3 arrested in connection with the death of Ibrahim Mohammed, popularly known as Kaka. The other person, who is called Idi, is a brother to the deceased, and that is what the family says. He cannot be held for the death of his own brother. So that's the update here at the Ejura for now.
Erastus, thank you very much. And we'll be going back to Erastus to get his interaction with the family of Kaka. In the meantime, the director at the Faculty of Academic Affairs and Research at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center has warned of the potential recurrences if nothing is done to address the concerns of the youth. Professor Kwesi Enning spoke on PM Express last night.
Creates a disturbing picture of youth, kids who are furious, who think their lives are not worth living, and therefore they will take the risk of attacking, a police vehicle. The symbolism in that, when armed officials run away from unarmed civilians, is that order is beginning to break down. And it sends a very clear signal that were we to organize much better, we will be able to have more victories. So when we juxtapose the two, what the conclusion one can make is that we are heading towards a tipping point in which a combination of frustrations, a sense of exclusion, and an in-depth and a growing sense of anger and a willingness to strike a blow against the state, irrespective of the outcome, is beginning to bubble to the fore. Now, this is something that we need to look at, and we need to pull back from the brink. Because when unarmed civilians decide to attack representatives of the state, that is a specific, deliberate decision that those people have made. And they've made it because they feel that life is not worth living, that they need to make their voices heard, and they are willing to bear the consequences of their actions.
Well, is that how you feel as well? Do you feel like there's nothing more to live for? Well, let's hear from you on our social media handles. I want to take you back to Ejura, where Erastus Asaridoko has been interacting with Kaka's family.
Okay, so what these women are saying is that the police say they've arrested 3 people. One of them is a brother to the deceased. and his name is Idi, and he lives in this room. And what they are saying is that they are swearing by the Quran, and these are his children. That's the late Kaka, his children, and they are swearing all by the Quran that Idi, who is a brother to the deceased Kaka, cannot be the one who murdered his own brother, and that is why they are crying. These are the children of the late Kaka, and this is the wife of the late Kaka. Let me briefly speak to her. Diana Woka says, "Yeah, Diana how?"
That's why more can say, Sister now, okay, say, Mikunu brand, a coon, Mikuno. Some our peer, no. Ah, me be son said, Diana see, no. One who see, one name idea see, then a one who say, Me bra, Mikunu brand in a coon, me brand. If say me, will be your name, no. Let me or them, no, ben your name. No, we say, dear Ben, we see BBC, what has he? Me see, dear Ben, we see BBC. BBC, into one dear see, and me one bomb my money. Sanka bet me say, oh, my who I see my say, bukuno. And so Pierre beside said, dear Ben, see, we see when my do come, me quash. Me quash, actually, me quiet, and me couldn't that one. You see, Mammy Tiffy, I say, or see how much too, why pure yalwella. Into what you walk to her, who's some branch, and me, dear Milka. Funny say, inti ewo ha na what say kasakasa bi wofia na si nkronfo na abia wia wofia na wa no nkura ne suru aka no na wura dem inti ade echi na what say enye kronfo obi na abebu mikunu aya ne sa juma no inti anka mikunu bra pa na beti me aya ne sa wo boa wo twanturo won bra na yan kuta Qur'ani won bra na yan kuta Qur'ani wo boa aba ne amienu na ya sisa dia to ho no wo boa nya mikunu bra ni bra enni asambia ni din di Saada Hudu.
So Saada Gudu is the wife of the late Kaka, and this is what she's saying in translation, is that there is a woman in this house whose account has led to the arrest of Idi, who is a brother to the deceased, and he's one of the 3 people the police say they have arrested in connection with the murder of Kaka. Now, she is quoting another woman who lives nearby as saying that on that fateful day, she saw 2 men running around the neighborhood and coming to this house and engaging her husband in exchanges. And it was after that they saw the husband lying in a pool of blood. And so she wants this woman who has since fled the community to come forward so they can use the Quran to swear an oath whether indeed she's telling the truth, because she doesn't believe that brother to the deceased indeed murdered his own brother. And now he's saying that on that fateful day when she was called in her room, she was sleeping, she came out and found out that the husband was in a pool of blood. She asked the same woman whose account has led to the arrest of the brother, and she said she didn't know what was happening. So how come she didn't tell her what was happening? So you could see the children in tears at this moment, and it is an emotional moment for them. And especially when the police say they've arrested 3 people, what we are picking is that one of them is called Idi. Idi is a brother to the late Kaka. Let me find out from the children why they are crying at the moment.
And the potato to my son, make a chemist, or Baba Kumipa, or Baba Bumi Papa. Me pay by a Mujano, Namitimina, Nami Super, police phone number by she. No cry, no name here. Or name here cry, Mojano, on the chemist and Miss Bepan, me papa no cry, Namin also. And also any job, Beja Papa, and we see them, and no chemist and Miss Bepan's Mojan, and my Pipani. No one see me, they need the CB on the on the castle piano and on say Mudi Abanat from my journey. They say they mean.
Well, so she's saying that on that fateful day when she saw her father in a pool of blood, she couldn't handle it. She was crying all over. It was that woman whose account has led to the arrest of one Idi. She is the one who showed her how to even clean the blood. So she was the one who cleaned her father's blood that fateful day. Saying a year, so one saw who saw Papa da Mujem, now one hour Papa Muja. What Kaya, dear
Moja mahuni so da moja mo na me da me ma me pese won sori me na me nsu ntim anopatututu no onya ne mi na o se me mbehwe moja no an me nua ketu no ka me bisa ne se adem bibisi ya na onu so no asori sa na dwunu o se ani akola kitikiti kura oni nyansa ene o ka che me se papa atofom me se hi onu na twi me se ko che me moja na me ma me gina ho na ehwe no o che me moja ne na mi su so toy in moja no haye fin enemy na say mpepa enemy so my people moja ni.
So she's saying that she did not see the father in the pool of blood, but she saw the blood after her father has been taken away, and she was the one who cleaned the remnants of the blood, her father's blood, on the floor. Okay, so yeah, your papa sa Diana. Emma Philly.
Me feel bad pa. Justice. If you share justice, I say, or Monchidi or Mukon Papa, me assure say, me and Yamin Brand Kono. Me assure say, you no Kono. Or Tam now or Tucha, baby, and you edu social media, no more catch and say one jay on Bekono. Now, so I'm catching I say MP Panadian, almost on Bekono, and no more Kono, no more Kono to Hoko. More Kono, a jay. Ya jaya wa monyami Quran beka sama ya jana monyami
What did you say? How old are you?
12.
How old is she?
12 years.
12 years. How old are you?
17.
17. What about you?
I'm 15.
15. And how old are you?
13.
How old are you?
8.
And is this small one also part of them? How old is she?
2.5.
2.5. So the youngest of them is 2.5. And the oldest is how old?
15.
15. And these are the children left behind by Kaka, whose death has brought in this lot of protest on the streets of Ejura. And all they are asking, holding their Qurans this afternoon, is that they get justice for the death of their father. Reporting for JoyNews, Erastus Asaredonko, Ejura, Ashanti region.